How we doing, everybody? It's a beautiful day here at the Cheese and Moon Workshop. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I'm working on a project for someone else. A couple of the fellows was on the job site today. I'm a commercial superintendent for a construction company here in Central Florida, and one of my site guys is a subscriber, and we were talking about knives, and one of the other fellows was standing there and heard Mo, the fella that is the owner of this knife now, saying he needed a good knife. And I had already talked with Mo about giving him a knife, just a little boot knife. But a young man that works with Mo, named Justice, he said, if you need a knife, I got one for you. Went over to his truck and he pulled out this guy. This is a modern Glock Model 81. It's the European military knife, survival knife, fighting knife, whatever you want to call it. Again, this is the modern version. This is Model 81. See if I can get this to zoom on that. Made by Glock in Austria, Model 81. There's a Model 79 that does not have the serrated saw back on it. This knife needs some repair. The blade has a big whammy in it right here, and the tip is bent. See if I can get it focused on that. The tip is bent. Now, I thought about trying to straighten it out, and I'm sure I could, but once the steel is bent like that, it's fatigued, and it would just bend easily or possibly break. Let's see if I can illustrate what I plan to do. Where that big chip is in the blade, I plan to just start at that chip and put a new edge on there, and the rest of the blade is, I mean, it's sharp, and it would cut something if you worked hard enough at it. I mean, it does have somewhat of an edge, but I'm going to clean that up. The blade's pretty scarred up, and Mo said he wanted to leave that in there, all those scratches and dings and battle scars, but I will clean it good for him. A little history on the knives. Glock started out as a knife manufacturer long before they were a gun manufacturer. The first knives were made in the garage, I believe, stamped out, not forged, but stamped. And of course, they did not have the saw on the back of it or whatever. And it's pretty neat history. I'll put some of the history on the video here when I edit. Now, a lot of people think this deal here at the end is a bottle opener, and while it may function as that, that's not what it is. And then this plastic cap at the end of the handle, that comes out, not easily. It's not made to come out and back in. It's in there, or you take it out. And this handle's hollow down about this far. Okay, maybe about that far. It's hollow. And the tang on the knife stops right about here. It's a flat tang. I'll put a picture of it up here somewhere. The reason this tip is hollow is because this is designed to fit on the end of a rifle. This little tab here fits in at the front at the muzzle brake, and there's a retractable pin that sticks in this hole in the end of here and locks it in place at the end of a rifle, and it forms a sort of a bayonet. It does have a hole here that could be used as a lanyard hole once the plug is out. I may talk to Mo about you want to leave the plug in unless there's some mods out there where they thread the inside of that and put a bolt in it and make a skull crusher or glass breaker or whatever, and you can store a little fire starter or something in this little hollow. But I would leave the plug in there and just drill through there so you can put a lanyard on it. And the reason you would want a lanyard on this knife is this round handle. If you intended to use this for any type of bushcraft, chopping and such, this rounded handle doesn't lend to chopping very well, and it will spin in your hand, which could be kind of dangerous. So this is like video number 1, part 1. I'm going to reprofile the end of that, sharpen that up, and get it cleaned up for Mr. Mo. And we want to thank Justice for gifting this to Mo. And we're going to get it cleaned up. A couple other little handy things here. The scabbard or sheath has a drain hole in the end, so things won't water, whatever, blood. If you're processing animal, that stuff will drain out. Has a little loop here on the back. You can tie a lanyard on that and maybe tie it on your leg while this is on your belt. This clip, you slide it sideways and it opens up and you can feed it onto your belt. Okay, and all in all, it's a pretty handy little sheath. It locks in. This is the lock. Click it with your thumb. I mean, it will not come out of there. Some guys mount this upside down on the strap of their backpack or their plate carrier, and then they can just, with their thumb, pop that loose and access the blade. Well, there you go, guys. Part 1 of the Glock knife repair and cleanup. We'll get to the actual video of cleaning up and reprofiling it, hopefully Sunday of this week, and get it back over to Mo. And he's very excited about getting this. When he found out it was a Glock, he got extremely happy. But these are fairly common. You can buy them on Amazon for $34, $35, or you can go on eBay and pay $75 because it's a rare Glock army knife. Now, there are some rare ones. The Glock symbol here is the common sort of squared G for the Glock. Some of the original Austrian knives, that Glock was a round G. Now, some of those are pretty collectible and carry a pretty good price tag on them. But this is the one that's readily, commonly available. It's a spring steel. I'll put the makeup of the steel on there. But it's a pretty decent knife. And it'll make a nice, I mean, this was Justice's truck knife. He pulled it out of his work truck. They take a pretty good amount of abuse, and it's a good general truck knife. But we'll go about a little bit more detail once I get it cleaned up, and we'll do kind of a review on it. So there you go, guys. Glock knife, video number 1, repair and clean up to follow. So until I see you again, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and have a beautiful day.